afternoon. I'm Shawn Yao and this is One News Now. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar has replaced Carlo Nograles as acting presidential spokesperson. To tell us more about this change, Maricel Halili joins us live from Mandaluyong City. Hi Mase, allow me to backtrack a little on this subject. Why this new appointment and why so sudden, and what will happen to Secretary Nograles?
Hi, Sean. President Duterte appointed or has appointed Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles as the new chairperson of the Civil Service Commission. He took an oath last night. And so because of this new appointment, all his positions are now vacated. One of these positions is being the acting presidential spokesperson. And so earlier this morning, Secretary Martin Andanar has confirmed that he is now the acting or the new presidential spokesperson, probably until the end of the term of President Duterte.
So that will be until June 30th, right? Since the appointment happened late last night, has there been any negative feedback, any negative reactions to former Cabinet Secretary Nograles' new position as the head of the CSC? And if so, what did the palace have to say?
Well, there were comments or reactions coming from netizens questioning if this is or this can be considered as midnight appointee, because as we all know, the term of the president will come to the end in a few months' time. And considering that Secretary Nograles is one of his let's say, most trusted cabinet secretary, and now being appointed in a fixed term, some of the netizens are giving that kind of comment. But Secretary Andanar clarified that it is not true that the appointment of Secretary Nograles can be considered as a midnight appointment, because in the first place, the decision of the president to appoint him as the chairperson of the Civil Service Commission is still within the period that the president is still allowed to appoint someone in a position. As a matter of fact, President or Secretary Andanar just confirmed earlier also the new appointed officials of the Commission on Elections.
All right, that's right. We still have a ways to go before the deadline on these appointments for it to become or to be called a midnight appointment. But Mase, everyone is now wondering who will be replacing Nograles in his other positions that have been left vacant because of his appointment to the CSC. Of course, apart from the fact that he was the cabinet secretary, he was also the IATF co-chairman.
That's right, Sean. We asked Secretary Andanar earlier who will replace Secretary Nograles as cabinet secretary and the co-chairman, as well as the spokesperson of the interagency task force. Unfortunately, President Duterte has yet to make his decision, so we still have to wait and see who will be the new appointees.
All right, so let's backtrack. Something you said caught my attention. President Duterte also appointed new COMELEC officers. Who are they? Can you tell us more about them?
Yes, Sean, Secretary Andanar confirmed that President Duterte has appointed Saidamin Pangarungan as the new chairperson of the Commission on Elections. And he also identified two personalities who will be the new commissioners of COMELEC. These are election lawyer, Attorney George Garcia, and Amy Neri.
All right. Attorney George Garcia, who used to be a lawyer for Bongbong Marcos. Is he still a lawyer for Marcos Jr.? And what did the palace have to say about this possible conflict of interest, at least with this appointment of Attorney Garcia?
You're right, Sean. He used to be the lawyer, one of the lawyers of former Senator Bongbong Marcos. But I think not anymore, because he is now an appointed commissioner of the Commission on Elections. Secretary Andanar said that all the appointments of President Duterte or all his appointees has underwent vetting process. And so he assured the public that even Attorney George Garcia's underwent the scrutiny of President Duterte. And he actually reiterated that all presidents have the prerogative to choose who they want to appoint in a certain positions of the government.
All right, we'll leave that there. Moving on now to another topic, Mase, of course, the conflict in the Ukraine. How many Filipinos have been repatriated from the Ukraine so far? And will they be providing any assistance for them once they get back here to the Philippines?
So far, based on the latest data of OWA, they said, or Administrator Hans Kakdak said that almost 50 Filipinos have been repatriated to the Philippines from Ukraine. Since they are now implementing mandatory repatriation because the Department of Foreign Affairs has placed Ukraine under alert level of 4, they are actually encouraging all Filipinos to return to come back in the Philippines. They have promised that these Filipinos who will be repatriated will receive financial assistance. And OWA also assured them that they will help these Filipinos to look for a new job, whether domestic or abroad, or if they want to start a business, maybe OWA can provide them initial investment or capital for the business that they plan to start. So they actually encourage these Filipinos to come back to the Philippines for their safety.
All right, thank you so much for all those updates. Maricel Halili reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. Thank you, Mase. And House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Joey Salceda remains firm that suspending excise taxes on oil should be part of the government's plan to counter rising fuel costs. Salceda told the chiefs that apart from excise tax suspension, providing fuel subsidies can help address the consecutive oil price hikes. Salceda recently called on the president to declare a state of economic emergency in order to address the rise in fuel prices.
Kailangan po talaga sabayan po to ng suspension ng excise tax. Nasa Kongreso po ngayon, nakabitin lang, naka-sponsor na, ang nakalagay doon na paglampas 80, wala na ho yung mga train excise tax.
And for his part, Finance Chief Sonny Dominguez does not expect the Ukraine-Russia conflict to last long. He did say, however, that it could have some lingering effects. Dominguez expressed confidence that inflation will remain within the target range despite the steep rise in fuel prices.
There may be some lingering effects. We have seen similar crises in the past. Based on these experiences, we are confident that we have the tools and the preparation necessary to help our people through this crisis.
Economic managers are calling for a nationwide shift to Alert Level 1 at the soonest possible time. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Carl Chua says this is necessary to strengthen the economy and to offset external risks. Aside from this, Chua also wants to double the 2.5 billion peso budget for the fuel subsidy program for PUVs.
To shift to Alert Level 1 at the soonest possible time for the entire country and open all the schools for face-to-face learning to increase our domestic economy and offset the external risks. We can strengthen our domestic economy to provide the people with more jobs and opportunities.
We'll be pausing for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Let's check in on the latest in today's campaign trail. The Marcos Duterte tandem will hold 3 uniteam rallies and a motorcade in Bulacan, one of the country's vote-rich provinces. They will be campaigning in the towns of Giginto, Maykawayan, and Santa Maria today. Presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao visited an ITA community in Porac, Pampanga today. After his campaign tour around Pampanga, Pacquiao will be heading to Tarlac. Presidential candidate Calio de Guzman joined labor and women's groups in celebrating International Women's Day in Quezon City. Calio highlighted the importance of prioritizing the welfare of women and ensuring equal pay for everyone. And still in Quezon City, Mayor Joy Belmonte's Partido Serbisyo sa Bayan has endorsed Senate President Tito Soto as Vice President for the upcoming polls. Senate President Soto is the father of Quezon City Vice Mayor Gian Soto. Olympic pole vaulter EJ Obiena has been excluded by PATAFA in its roster for the Southeast Asian Games in Vietnam come May. Olympic Committee President Bambol Tolentino says this move deprives the country of 1 gold medal in the biennial meet. The 26-year-old athlete won gold during the last edition of the Games in Clark, Pampanga. Obiena, who holds the Asian record, was also not listed for the World Indoor Championships in Belgrade that's happening on March 18. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.